Work is done, it's time for some fun. This is the good part. Let's go. How's it going, everyone? My name's Andrew, and this is Get to the Endgame, where I'm going to run you through every single Marvel movie leading up to Avengers Endgame at the end of the month, which is only 2 weeks away. Today, we're on to our 7th movie, Iron Man 3. The first movie in the series, not directed by Jon Favreau, is instead directed by Shane Black, who's known for his work on The Nice Guys with Ryan Gosling, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and the new Predator reboot. He also has a penchant for Christmas, making Iron Man 3 the first holiday movie, and the last to my knowledge, in the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe. With a budget of $200 million, it grossed $1.2 billion, riding high off that post-Avengers bump, showing that people are really excited to be a part of the Marvel Universe. Coming out in May of 2013, this is the 7th movie in the series. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and run you through the plot. This movie starts off on New Year's Eve of 1999. Tony and a scientist by the name of Maya Hansen are going up in an elevator to look at her research for a new project called Extremis. Just as the elevator doors are about to close, a disabled scientist named Aldrich Killian puts his hand in the door and stops it. He wants Maya and Tony to join his new organization called AIM, or Advanced Idea Mechanics. Tony brushes off this offer and tells him he'll meet him on the roof after he goes up with this girl. That never happens. We cut forward to present day. It's been 6 months since the Battle of New York, and Tony is suffering from PTSD. In an effort to combat this, he's building lots and lots of Iron Man suits. This is causing lots of tension between him and Pepper Potts' relationship. The next day at work, Pepper Potts runs into none other than Aldrich Killian, the same scientist from 1999 who presented AIM to Tony. However, he is no longer disabled. In fact, he looks incredibly healthy and physically fit. Meanwhile, all over the world, there are tons of explosions happening and attacks by a man called the Mandarin, a terrorist. One of these attacks injures Happy Hogan, Tony's right-hand man. Tony then issues a threat to the Mandarin and says, if you want to bomb someone, come attack my house, and he gives him his address. The Mandarin takes up this offer just as Maya Hansen has arrived at the front door of Tony's house after all these years. Luckily, Maya and Pepper are able to escape, but Tony has appeared dead. Luckily, though, he had ended up sneaking into an Iron Man suit and being flown by Jarvis, his AI, all the way to Tennessee. Once he's in Tennessee, the suit loses power, and it's up to Tony and a young boy named Harley to try to give power back to the Iron Man suit. While in Tennessee, though, Tony is able to investigate one of these attacks by the Mandarin. It is there he learns that Extremis is what's responsible for these attacks. Turns out when you're injected with it, your body can overheat and then explode. This is what's causing all these deaths around the world. With the help of Harley, Tony is able to figure out where the Mandarin is located, and it's actually just south in Miami. Tony goes down there without the suit since it's still not operational, and is able to find the Mandarin, but the Mandarin that we see on TV isn't the actual threat. It's merely an actor named Trevor Slattery. The real Mandarin is none other than Aldrich Killian, who kidnaps Tony and reveals that he has also kidnapped Pepper Potts and injected her with Extremis. With fear of her blowing up, Tony says that he will help her. But thankfully, a change of heart by Maya Hansen, who had been helping Aldrich Killian this whole time, almost saves the day. Killian, being merciless, kills Hansen, and Tony is left trapped there, while Aldrich Killian goes off to try to kidnap the president. Killian steals War Machine, now called Iron Patriot's suit, and uses it to capture the president. Luckily, the armor that had been kept in Tennessee is finally charged and comes and helps Tony escape. Tony reunites with Rhodey, who has now lost his armor since Killian has taken it to get the president, and they go to Air Force One to try to stop Killian. Unfortunately, they're too late. The president has already been taken by Killian. They manage to save people that are crashing in Air Force One, and then they are forced to go out to this oil rig, where we have the president trapped in the Iron Patriot armor, and also Pepper Potts tied down to the top of a cargo container. Tony is then forced to fight his way up to the top of this cargo container. Luckily, to save the day, he calls up Jarvis and says, send in all the Iron Man suits you possibly can. And we get this very cool image of dozens of Iron Man suits coming to attack this oil rig and fight off all these Extremis henchmen who are all powered up on this injection that makes them super strong and breathe fire. One of the missiles, though, accidentally hits the cargo container that Pepper is stuck on, and she ends up falling to her presumed death into a bunch of fire. It's up to Iron Man to then fight the Mandarin, aka Killian, and try to defeat him. However, Tony almost loses this battle, and the Mandarin almost wins. Luckily, out of the fire comes Pepper Potts, who destroys Killian using her powers that she had gained from Extremis. With Tony and Pepper reunited, Rhodey is able to save the president and get his suit back as well. Tony then promises to Pepper that he will destroy all his suits, which he does, and finally goes into surgery to remove the shrapnel from his heart and take out the arc reactor. He also cures Pepper of Extremis. Lastly, we see that Tony is finally Iron Man, with or without the suit. In a post-credit scene, we see that Bruce Banner has been listening to this story the whole time, but actually fell asleep at the very beginning. It's more of a comedic bit than anything else. End of movie. So, what do you need to know for Avengers Endgame from this movie, Iron Man 3? Not much. While a lot of fun things happen in this movie, it's a pretty decent watch. As related to Avengers Endgame, the only thing is that the relationship between Pepper and Tony, and also War Machine for that matter, just continues to grow. They get closer, and it's more intimate of a relationship, which really raises the stakes for Endgame. But as for like plot points or Infinity Stones, nothing's introduced here that we don't already know or will know more about in a later movie. So that's really it as for like important facts for Avengers Endgame for Iron Man 3. Let's go ahead and rank this movie in our list of Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. Now that I've told you how it relates, or more so doesn't relate to Avengers Endgame, where did this movie rank in our grand scheme of Marvel movies? I'm going to put it right at number 5, right below Iron Man 2 but above Thor. This movie is an excellent action movie, and I think it has actually more in common with like a Mission Impossible or a Bourne Ultimatum style movie, where it's a hero on the run having to fight bad guys with lots of hand-to-hand combat, because Tony's out of the suit for the majority of this movie. Which really limits its potential as a superhero movie, makes it more of a great standard action flick. And while there are great scenes, like Tony's dynamic with the little kid that he's with in Tennessee is fantastic, it just can never reach the highs of Iron Man 2 with the team-up moments with Rhodey. Those are missing in this film, and it never can possibly get close to Avengers with the superhero dynamic and the banter that's there. But I do think it is better than Thor just because Iron Man is such a strong character. And like I said, the relationship with the small child is some of the most enjoyable moments we've gotten in the series so far. And with that, that is all we have for Iron Man 3. Tune in tomorrow where we rank Thor: The Dark World. Thank you all so much for watching. If you liked the video, please click the like button below. You can subscribe to the channel, which will be right here. And our next video will probably be right up here. Until then, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye-bye.